So my entire plan got wrong. I don't even know if it was depressed necessarily. I think I was lost. It can be one of those things where you lose yourself really quick. And you can say like they grew up or they got older, they became a woman, like, but now that I know truth, like that's not what that looks like to grow up and become a church.
What's up, guys? I'm Koby, and this is At the Altar. My wife Sarah and I started this podcast with a mission to help lead young people like ourselves into a life surrendered at the feet of Jesus.
We're so excited you're joining us in today's episode. If you haven't already, please like, subscribe, follow, and turn on notifications to stay updated on our weekly episodes.
Thank you for the support. Jesus loves you, and so do we.
Open up by picking your nose.
This is At the Altar.
Ooh,
that was cool. There we go.
Welcome back, everybody, to our podcast, At the Altar with Koby and Sarah. Koby is actually, well, he's with us today, but he's just not going to be on camera. I am interviewing my best girl, Tia, today. We have walked through a lot of seasons of life together, and she just has an amazing testimony and story of God's grace. And so I'm just so excited for you guys to get to know her. And I'm super excited.
Yeah. Hi, everybody.
She's so cute. Okay, bear with us because we've never done anything like this before. Usually you're just...
Usually it's just us hanging out with the kids.
Usually you're just cutting strawberries at my house, putting dino nuggies in the microwave for me.
Yeah. We've never been on a pod. You've
This
never
is kind of
interviewed
fun.
me before. This will be a blast.
I know. I literally was like, we just get to chat as besties. So that's really fun. Besides Koby just watching us, and that's fine. It's all good. So I'm super excited to have you on.
Yes, thank you. It feels like an honor.
Oh,
So
that's sweet.
excited.
I know. So we have known each other for how long? Since preschool?
Yeah, well over like 20 years. Is that
Yeah,
kind of
that's
crazy? I feel a little
Yes.
old saying that.
I know. That's
Which is
really
not
weird.
that old, but like since preschool probably.
Yeah. And so we've walked through a lot of different things together. And now it's really cool because you just got married.
Yes, I just got married September 1st.
Yep. I
So,
was your maid of
6
honor.
months. Yep, my maid of honor, my
I know.
bestie.
That's so cute. So we kind of lost
Yeah.
so we have gone through a lot of seasons of life together,
Sure.
and then kind of lost touch after high school.
Yeah.
And then reconnected a few years later, probably when we were 22.
Yeah, you had just had I think you were pregnant with Keegan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so like 22 or 23.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
It's been a few years now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you want to kind of talk about how like life after graduation, or just like we'll kind of dive into your testimony.
Yeah, we'll just dive right in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So where do you want to start with?
Well, I can start with I got baptized when I was 16. But I'll just preface with I don't feel like I really knew the Lord or fully understood what it meant to be baptized. It's a spiritual moment that I had with God, and it's not to neglect or take away from the fact that I was baptized. But my understanding and my relationship with God was built much later.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the time between my getting baptized and, moving into my adult life, I walked away from the Lord very, very far. And it would honestly be what the world would consider a normal high school experience. To a degree, of course. There were things that probably not every kid goes through, but I would say that was the biggest thing coming out of high school that I recognized. We normalize a lot that should not be normal for any kid or just any person, to be honest. So I was baptized when I was 16, through high school. I, like I said, walked away from the Lord. I was partying, drinking on the weekends, giving into lust and all the things. And then I graduated. I've I guess part of my testimony is dance, right? That's like a huge part of who I am.
Yes, let's just say Tia is an amazing dancer.
Thanks.
I think everyone who knows you knows that her passion is dance, and you are a dance teacher now. But you are such a gifted. God has just given you that gift of dance, and
thank you.
You like professionally, and
thank you.
It's just beautiful.
Thank you so much. Seriously, like, I mean, I've danced my whole life, and like you said, I would say anybody who knows me, or honestly, like the one thing you might know about me through like
is
schooling,
you dance,
is I dance,
and you're amazing on it. Yeah,
thank you. And that was like, that was what I was known for, like through school and stuff, if anything. And so that was my dream, was to pursue dance. That was like the only thing I honestly really cared about. Dance and like a family. Like I wanted to get married and have a family someday. That was a part of my plan, but just like down the road, dance always took precedent.
You wanted to do something with dance.
Like dance was my biggest dream, I guess. So I had saved money like through high school and stuff and working, and January 4th, I think it was like right after New Year's of 2020. We graduated 2019. I moved in 2020 to LA. And it was like 2.5 months in, COVID hit, 2020 of March. And so my entire plan got rocked. Like I was planning on moving there, spending a year training, making connections. I wanted to do like music videos and like world tours and, just like backup dancing for artists. And that was my dream. That was what I envisioned myself doing. And I really believed that I was going to do that.
And at this point, you were not following the Lord. Like you said, you got baptized, but you were not following the Lord.
No.
He was not your first priority or anything like that.
For sure not. Like maybe, and it's not to say that I didn't pray at times, but like he was probably my like 25th priority. Like truly, like he was on the back burner.
So you would say you were pretty lukewarm at that?
Oh, for sure. Lukewarm, like at best. Because I remember through that season, you're surrounded by people that don't even really necessarily know the Lord. And so like, whether that was like Buddhist beliefs or like you believe in like crystals and like healing powers of crystals. Like I think I was just really open and quote unquote respectful of other people's beliefs. Yeah. But I think it came from like a lack of belief in what I actually thought I believed in, Yeah. So I wasn't super confident, to say the least, in
well, not just like
beliefs.
That city, LA is such a that would be such a hard city to have faith in. I mean,
for sure, it's a melting pot of I think a lot of people, and truly we kind of experience the same thing in Washington. I feel like at times.
I was just gonna say that.
Yeah, like I've noticed that the things that I've experienced in LA, I actually also still experience here in Washington to a degree. Yeah. Wow. Like I don't think, and potentially just the dance world's the dance world. So like it has the same basis anywhere you go. But yeah, I think that sin is sin and it's everywhere.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like there's certain hubs of it where it feels bigger than others, but essentially sin is sin and you're going to see it everywhere you go, everywhere you live,
Totally. Yeah.
But I think being 19 in a big city and having no like basis of who I was.
I was going to say moving there already,
yeah,
not really making God your first priority, but like going off on your own to a city like that, pursuing these big goals and dreams that are really of the world. For sure. Would be definitely hard. Yeah.
I think that's quite honestly like where everything fell was just like I had no idea who I was, and not to say like, oh, like I'm a woman and I'm a strong, like no, like who I am biblically speaking, like identified by Christ's blood, like a woman of God, a child of God. Like I had no idea what that meant. And so my foundation of who I was so rocked anytime anybody told me what I needed to look like. And if you're unfamiliar with the dance world, it can be one of those things where you lose yourself really quickly. I mean, I can't tell you how many dancers I see move away from their hometowns, move to LA, and all of a sudden they have a different colored hair. They are like super overly sexualized, like truthfully. And that's not to say every dancer, but a lot of dancers go to LA and they change who they are. And I know a lot of friends that like have moved to LA that I knew on like a personal level. And they're just not the same person. Like maybe at heart, but when you look at their actions and you look at the way they're living their life, they're not the same person. And you can say like they grew up or they got older, they became a woman, like, but now that I know truth, like that's not what that looks like to grow up and become mature. And like,
do you think they just get caught up in like the dance world of the secular like pressure of it all and wanting to be the best, and like do you think they just get like caught up in that world?
Yeah,
in it,
for sure. I mean, speaking from, I guess, my own testimony, since that's like what we're talking about.
Because you were caught at this point, you were caught up in
the
exact same thing.
Oh, 1,000%. Yeah. And when I had moved, I think the big thing is like you have these dreams, right? It's no different than any other sin, right? You're tempted with a lie that anything and everything but God can provide exactly what you're missing. And for me, what I was looking for was validation and like that praise. Like I wanted to be a star essentially, and I wanted to feel important to whether that was the world or somebody or to myself. Like I'm not even sure who I was trying to be important for, but I wanted to be important. I wanted to be validated. I wanted somebody to say like, wow, you're really good. And so I trained really hard to do that. But I mean, I was dancing like 40-hour weeks on top of a public school schedule.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, even like public, like when we went to high school and middle school and all that, dance was like your priority. And there's a lot of things you had to miss because of dance. And that was just always your number one. Like,
oh, for
that's
sure.
what I remember from a lot of our childhood and just growing up. Like you were just so, dance was your number one.
It was my everything. Like it was, and honestly, I always say like dance was my first love. You know, it was like the one constant in my life that, it was the one constant in my life that no matter like what was going on in my circumstances, whether that was like home life or relationships or just my own mental health, like I could always go to dance and I could always count on dance. And while I don't think that was like incorrect, I still believe that to be true from when I was younger. However, now as an adult, I've recognized that that spot is supposed to be reserved for God, and God should be your foundation and your center, because realistically, dance can't be a constant. Dance is always evolving. It's always changing. The expectations grow. The foundation of it is ever changing. It's not eternal. It's not going to bring me salvation. Right. So no matter how much I succeed in dance, no matter how much validation I receive from dance, it will never fulfill me the way that God can.
Right. You're always going to have that void that only Jesus can fill.
Exactly. 1,000%. And so when I moved to LA, that's what I was looking for. I was looking to chase a dream. While the dream was not incorrect, I was misplacing it.
Which you were in like a music video and stuff.
Yeah,
like
I had done quite a few jobs.
Yeah.
Like
you were doing great over there, weren't you? Like you were succeeding. And
honestly too,
until
I remember
COVID.
Right. I remember at the time when I had first moved there, or I guess actually when COVID first hit, I feel like it was one of those things where I was so upset because I was like, man, I just started making connections. Like if you've moved to LA, you know it can take a while to build relationship there. Like it's, you know, like we were saying before, it's a big city with a lot of people, and whether it's Hollywood and movies and film or Disney, or like it literally doesn't matter what avenue you're going into in LA, it can take a long time to build connections. And so I was there like 2.5 months, and I felt like I was finally starting to meet choreographers, meet teachers, find my like quote unquote niche, like what I was good at. And then COVID hit. And so I mean, God's perfect timing. I know COVID was awful for a lot of people, and it was awful for me too, but I would not be where I am had that not happened, I don't think. Because when COVID hit, as most of us, we all went to social media, and that was like what fulfilled our time. And so I actually went down like the influencer route, and I had kind of like cut ties with dancing. I was like, no, I'm fed up with it. Like, I can't keep doing this. Again, this goes back to the whole like dance can't be a constant because it's ever changing.
Right.
And so what I thought dance could do for me, now it was gone.
Yeah. Were you depressed during this time, or just like, maybe not depressed, but
Right.
like, were you happy with your life?
No. No. I think, I don't even know if it was depressed necessarily. I think I was lost, like extremely lost, because again, like I said, my entire foundation was built on dance.
Yeah.
So it was like, that was who I was. That was who I identified with. That's the people that I knew, the relationships that I built. Everything was centered around dance.
And then COVID hits and you're like, well, what the crap am I going to do now?
Literally.
You're just like, okay, like everything you trained for or whatever, it's just kind of like, what's going to happen? All that kind of stuff.
Exactly. Yeah. Like my whole world was rocked and I had no idea what was coming next. And so I think it created a lot of frustration like within myself, and I didn't know how to sustain who I was while dance was no longer in my life. And so I had cut ties with dance. Like I said, I wasn't really dancing like at home for myself. And that goes back to the validation thing. Like I wasn't dancing for me. I was dancing for other people to see me and validate me. And so it checked my heart also, you know, like why I was really dancing, why I enjoyed dancing, my love for dance. Because not everybody dances for the validation of others. Like I truly believe there's a lot of people who love dance from their like core love dance. And they don't care what people think. And that's beautiful, you know, but a lot of us do get caught up in the praise of it and like wanting to show off our skill. And I see it all the time still, like with my own dancers, you know, it's a really hard thing to navigate. Because something you're passionate about, it's something that you want people to be proud of you for.
Totally.
But yeah, so anyways, I was lost to say the least. I went like the influencer route, and I think that was like kind of like starting my like low breaking point of like I quite literally had no idea who I was anymore. I wasn't the same girl at all. And like this had been like a slow like drip, like the thing is about to explode. Like, you know, but I mean, yeah, just like any what's it called? Like sponsorship that came my way or any
Did you get big on social media, like influencer? I don't remember.
I will say this, I was not big yet. Like not like thousands and thousands of followers where you see like big influencers are making this big break. I was making money, but not enough to like sustain a full-time income. Okay. If that makes sense. Yeah. So, but here's the thing. I was willing to do anything to get there to a degree, right? Like there maybe certain boundaries, but like I was definitely like the girl that was quite literally like half naked on Instagram. And that wasn't me before. Like I was extremely shy about my body. Yeah. And again, not to say that I should be like ashamed of my body, but my body is mine and not anybody else's to like show off and receive money from. Like it shouldn't be monetized like my money or my body is not an object for money. Yeah. And so essentially it was just like selling myself for others. And I honestly think it was just another avenue of praise. Like I literally just wanted validation from people.
Because you're like, who am I? And if other people validate you, it's just like that really, you know, good feeling that all of us, our sinful nature, our flesh likes to have.
Totally. So I think it was a long time coming. And honestly, the root of the evil was just still there, and it was manifesting in different ways and in different avenues of life. And, you know, I was going through relationship problems. Like my whole world was rocked. Like I really had no idea what I was doing. I was running out of finances. My roommate I was living with was like staying at home just because, again, COVID was happening. So nothing was really happening in LA. Yeah. And I was by myself in an apartment, like a 800 square foot apartment for like 9 months. Yeah. And it was hard. It was isolating. It was daunting. And I had a lot of time to think. And unfortunately, I don't think I thought on the right things and I got lost. But But again, God's perfect timing, because I ran out of finances. I decided to move home and just refigure out my life. It was like, okay, refresh, restart.
Home, so you moved back to Washington.
Yes, yeah. I moved back to Washington, and I moved back in with my dad.
Okay.
And just, again, try to like re-navigate life. I started working at like this little boutique. I was nannying my niece and nephew for a while.
While doing social media, or was that stopped at this time? Did you take a pause? Okay.
No, I was still doing social media.
Okay.
And again, it started to
dwindle off a little bit.
Not even say dwindle, change. Like it just, I didn't even know what I was influencing. Like, you know what I mean? I came home and then I was like a nanny influencer all of a sudden because I was a nanny. Like,
nothing
you know what I
that.
mean?
Shout out.
Yeah. Shout out to nanny influencers, I guess. Like, I don't know. I didn't know who I was. So it was just, I was always morphing into whatever anybody else wanted me to be.
Yes.
Or whatever life threw my way. And honestly, it still took like a couple years for me to fall flat on my face and be like, God help me. So I, you know, again, new relationship, it was falling apart. My like best friend at the time, we were really struggling. Like, so my two closest relationships at the time were distraught. Like they were falling apart again. I wasn't dancing at the time, if I remember correctly. That's not true, actually. I started teaching at this point.
Is this when you got the job you currently have?
Yes. So during those 2 years, actually, my boss, who was actually one of my first dance teachers, had reached out and was like, I saw you're back home. Do you want to come teach for me? And again, it was just a money thing. Like I really didn't care about teaching. And that showed in my character a lot. Like apologize to any students I had at that time, because I was an awful, awful, awful teacher.
Right.
And I believe I've grown by the grace of God, but it wasn't by my own doing at all. It took a lot of prayer and it took a lot of transformation, because truly the teacher that I was, like, awful human, the things that I said, like, and so seriously, like to any of my students who may hear this, like, I am so sorry because I do recognize that like that person was just a mean person.
Yeah.
Like,
you were just lost.
I was so lost. Yeah. And yeah, my anger was just coming out in a lot of different ways, and my relationship with dance was really destroyed. And I projected that onto them. So yeah, that's when I started teaching, actually. And then, let's see, I was nannying and I was doing the boutique, and then I started teaching, and then, yeah, my relationships were falling apart. And I think at this point in my life, I had just finally recognized a spiral, like, or like a cycle, I guess. Like I kept doing the same thing over and over, and I would, you know, end the toxic relationship. Yep. And then I would get into a new one. And then I would end the toxic relationship and I'd get into a new one. And then like that cycle continued, and then like my job cycle continued, or again, morphing into anything anybody wanted me to be.
Right. You're recognizing, okay, something's not, whatever I'm doing is not working.
Exactly. I recognized for the first time in my life that what I was doing was not going to work again. And my plan was essentially insignificant. Like I could not muster up anything that I needed. And so at my breaking point, I finally said, I need help. And I didn't go to God because I didn't know God well enough to know how to even approach him. And again, mind you, I'd been baptized. So it's like I knew Holy Spirit lived within me somewhere in there. Seeds had been planted, but I didn't have a relationship with God to sustain going forward anymore. And so I started seeing a therapist. And at this point, I really just went to her and was like, I have a lot of baggage and I need help. And I went to my therapist for 3 years before I think it was like probably 2 years before I had gone back to church. And the only reason I had gone back to church, truthfully, like Holy Spirit through my therapist, I really believe, because I also went to a Christian. Yeah, I went to a Christian. Well, she's Catholic, but I went to a Catholic therapist.
Was that by choice or just she happened to be?
No, it was by choice.
Oh, okay.
Which is interesting, right? Like there's these little things in my life I look back, and God was there. Like he saw me, and for whatever reason, like there was certain choices that I made back to him that I couldn't have done on my own will because I didn't know him well enough to make those choices. But yeah, like even I have journals like of prayers that I prayed during these seasons of life where
It's almost like the roots were there, but the relationship wasn't.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. And like I wasn't watering it or like pouring into those roots or those seeds to make them grow and be fruitful. So it's like I had the well, no, I don't know if I had the foundation even to say that.
You maybe had like the roots, like,
yeah, like literally seeds had been planted enough that I could, well, I guess not even that God could speak to me in certain moments and continue to keep opening doors and opportunities for me to choose him. Whether I chose him or not was up to me and my free will, essentially. But he continued to open doors for me to choose him. And so, yeah, like when I had like gone on to find a therapist, you can like check boxes to filter out like what kind of therapist you want. And one of the boxes I checked was like Christian, or I think it was like religious, maybe, or spiritual. I can't remember exactly what the preference like was. But yeah, she happened to be Catholic, and I had just expressed that I was losing my community. I didn't feel like I had anybody that really understood me, cared about me, or knew me deep down in my core. I felt misunderstood. I felt, again, lost. Like I didn't have anybody to even reel me back into my like who I was. And because I didn't feel like anybody knew who I was, including myself. Like, and so she had offered up an idea. She was like, okay, if you're interested, like, would you be willing to go back to church? And I laughed. I was like,
really?
I don't know. Yeah, truthfully. And I don't even know why. Like, I think I had just this narrative that everybody has about church.
Yeah.
I felt like I was going to meet really judgmental people and that I wasn't going to be seen for who I was, maybe, or maybe seen for who I was at the time.
Yeah.
Like, and
because you've been living in your sin for so long. You're just like, why?
Yeah. And again, I kind of sort of believed in God at this time. Like I obviously had some sort of connection with him, but didn't believe in his church, didn't believe in like the whole gospel. Maybe I like cherry picked the gospel a little bit. And, so yeah, I kind of rejected the idea, and it took a couple weeks for me to like be like, okay, maybe. And once I made that decision though, like everything within me changed. Like truly, I believe that, because I remember I like hung up my like Sunday dress. Like all of a sudden I was excited. Like it was so strange. Like the Lord had completely changed my heart with one choice, I guess, like one decision to just be like, okay, I'll try. And I think sometimes all you have to do is be like, okay, Lord, I'll try, because he just needs you to give him a chance to like change your life.
Totally.
Sometimes we're too stubborn to even let him. And I think that was where I was at. I originally was just too stubborn to let him lead my life, and I wanted to live it the way that I wanted to live it, but it wasn't working. And so I went to church, and I remember FaceTiming my mom in the car and being so nervous, like literally felt
and
like
you were
I was
just by yourself.
Yeah.
Wow.
I went by myself, and I went back to the church that I was baptized in.
Oh,
and
that's cool.
Yeah. I think part of that was it was familiar. Like it was the only church that I really knew, and I knew that I might know people. So it might be nice to see a familiar face that it wouldn't feel completely
new.
unfamiliar. Yeah. And so, yeah, I remember FaceTiming my mom, and she was like, what's the worst that's going to happen? And I quite literally was like, I don't know, like burn up. Like I have been living in sin for so long. Like I don't know what's about to happen.
Right.
And I will tell you that is not what happened. Like just to reassure you, I had walked in and I went straight to the balcony because I was like, well, I don't want to be up front row. Like I don't want anybody to see me
You don't
here.
want to be at the altars first?
No, I was not at the altar. Okay. I'm at the altar now, but
okay.
I was not at the altar.
You're at the altar right now.
I know. That's what,
Oh, okay.
You didn't catch my joke. But
Oh, shoot. Keep going.
I went to the balcony, and I kid you not, like I felt home for the first time, I think ever. Like, and I just sobbed and I wept and like had this moment with Jesus where I was just like, oh my gosh, like, have I just been missing you my entire life? Like, have you really just always been here? And I just needed to come and like see your goodness and like see what you have to offer me. And I didn't change overnight. Like something in me changed overnight, but I myself did not become like this super devout Christ follower perfect like being all of a sudden. It was like a complete transformation that had to happen. And he started with one thing, and then he worked on another thing, and he's worked on another thing, and he's still working on things. He'll always be working on things. But that choice to just try to give him a chance completely changed my life. And I've never turned away from him since then. And again, that's not to say that I haven't sinned. We're all sinners. We unfortunately sin like every day.
Mm-hmm.
But I have chosen to stick with him through the thick and the thin and the hard things. And I actually still did the cycle. Like I still chose my plan over his at times. And, I went through another relationship where I continued to be like, Lord, please, like, this has got to be the one, right? And like, I just knew deep down inside, like, it wasn't the one. Maybe I can, little tip for those who are like, maybe dating or in relationships. When someone says they respect your beliefs but don't believe your beliefs, listen to that, because I really believe that you need somebody who agrees with you on your beliefs. Like somebody, again, you don't have to agree on everything, like I think you guys had talked about that. Like you and Koby don't agree on everything, but your basis and most everything is the same.
Right.
Like, you didn't go into marriage until you were. Like, I think going into a relationship with somebody saying like, yeah, I respect like your choices, versus like, we're partnered in this together. We're going to walk through these things together with the same beliefs, moral compass, the same foundation, is drastically different. And I didn't know that. I thought that somebody could respect my beliefs and that was enough. And it wasn't. And I got hurt and it was hard. And I honestly feel like at that point I was kind of like, okay, God, like I'm now like choosing you and I'm still making the same mistakes. And I kind of wrote off dating just at all. And that was kind of like, I think the point where I knew again, I
think that's when we kind of reconnected.
Yeah. Like probably in that season of like, I was dating that person and we had connected. And I think I'd actually like maybe just told you about him. I was like, oh yeah. Or was I dating Micah when we got together? No. I wasn't.
No, you were not.
Okay. So Micah's my husband, by the way. So
yes.
But so I had to have been with my like ex at that point when we first started.
Yep.
And like actually Sarah had asked me out for coffee. Super random, right?
Yeah.
Like what was on your heart to ask me out for coffee?
I think I had seen the transformation in your life, like going back to your whole testimony. Like I had followed you when you were posting certain things that you wouldn't be posting today.
For sure.
And I just remember we were friends, like middle school, high school, were we like crazy close? No, but like we knew each other
for sure
decently well. And I just remember, if you want me to be honest, being like, that's kind of sad. Like I don't know why she's posting things like this, but not that I was being judgmental, but just like.
No, but I think you knew like, well, you had a relationship with God, so you knew what God had in store for me.
It made me sad. Truly, it wasn't from a place of judgment. It was like, it made me sad. And so when I had seen, I don't know, this was after. I'm pretty sure you posted something about God or something. I had reached out to you and I just like, I don't know. I think we just went to go meet up for coffee and I had seen your transformation online and I was like, this is amazing. I want to reconnect with you. And I had truly seen a change from when I got coffee with you to the person you were months before. Like it was crazy. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing.
Yeah.
And so, that was really special to see that. But you were going back to that. You were pretty sure coming out of that relationship and your now husband was not in the picture.
Yeah. And that's
you had said, you had said you were going to stop dating. I remember that. You were like, I'm just going to take a break. God's going to know. And then I'm pretty sure 4 or 5 months later, or something.
Oh yeah. It was kind of wild because, and I mean, I remember like you had asked me if you could pray for me.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the first time outside of church that I've had anybody like
At the end of our coffee date.
yeah,
I know.
You were
How
such
did
a
you
cutie friend.
How did you think of what did you think of that?
I honestly, it brings me back to like I get emotional. It brings me back to like when I was in therapy and just being like nobody understands me, and I felt so unseen and like uncared for. And like Sarah was truly one of like the first friends that actually like saw me. Like you actually saw me and you actually cared about me in a way that like wasn't just like I'm gonna like give you a hug when you're hurting. Like somebody that's gonna like war with me in prayer. And truthfully, I think that was when I realized how important my relationship with Sarah was. And like truly like a sister in Christ that like I didn't know that I could even have. And like, you know, her and I get all gushy all the time about just like how
cry. Wow. I haven't cried since our first episode.
But like, I mean, even like through like wedding stuff and everything, like I really struggled because I didn't have this like girl group that I've grown up with my entire life. And like some people are blessed with that and it's beautiful. Like my oldest sister has like her same high school friends that she's had like her whole life. And she's, you know, like grown with new friends and stuff. But like that same core group like still gets together. And I think that is so beautiful. And I just never had that. And honestly, like I feel like I've always had a hard time connecting with people on that level, probably because I was just so caught up in myself.
Do you think it changed from the time you gave your life back to Christ? Do you think you had to remove certain people, or like did it make you evaluate your friend situation?
Yes.
Yeah.
1,000%. I don't think in your walk in Christ you can ever not evaluate anything. Like, or like, you know what I mean? Like you can't dismiss anything. I think you need to evaluate every aspect of your life. And my relationships with my friends were one of them. And I really had to ask myself, like, are they leading me closer to Christ or are they leading me farther away? And the closer I got to Christ, the further away from them I got. And it wasn't to say that they were bad people or like in that season of life that they didn't care for me. But like I said, like when I met Sarah, like again, right? Like I feel like it was like like meeting somebody new because I was a completely different person. I think you had grown so much too. Like we had just stepped back into a friendship in completely different places of our life.
Yeah, because I was a mom of two. Yeah, I was pregnant with Keegan, so
almost a mom of two.
Yeah, almost a mom of two.
But even like just being married, like the last time Sarah and I had really connected, I think you and Koby were obviously dating, but like that was probably probably like our sophomore year was the last dance that we went together.
Yeah.
Right. So realistically, like I would say Sarah and I were still friends, but we probably like weren't as connected through like junior and senior year.
Right.
But I was also, again, I started dancing a lot more, like literally 40-hour weeks. So I had no time for friends, honestly.
She had no time for me.
Yeah, I had no time for Sarah.
I had no time for anybody but my boyfriend in high school, so it's fine.
AKA Koby. Shout out to Koby.
My husband. It turned out great, but
right.
No, I hear you, girl.
I mean, honestly, don't blame you because now you guys are married with two
Yeah.
beautiful kids. So
it's good. Worth it.
Right. So anyways, we had just stepped back into our friendship in such a different way that like I recognized what it actually means to be a friend. And I think it changed my perspective of how I look at my friendships with people. Because you have to choose a friendship. It's not something that just happens by accident, I don't think. And a lot of times my friendships were always out of like convenience or like circumstantial. Like I was around these people a lot or, you know, like, I mean, everybody I feel like goes through that with school, right? Like you're friends with people who are in your classes and then you switch classes and then all of a sudden you're friends with new people and like,
yeah, I
kind
think
of
different seasons bring different friend groups or whatever. I mean, sometimes you'll have that core group, and I think that's okay.
Right.
But definitely I would say the same for me, where when I became a mom, it was really hard for me to find, I mean, I was probably one of the first, I would think, in like our age group that became a mom. I know, well, obviously there's others, but like one of the first, and that was really hard because nobody else was in that season or married. Right. Nobody else was really getting married, and so they didn't know. It just felt like nobody really understood the season of life I was in.
So
and
fair.
when you can't relate to like someone, it's kind of hard.
So
and I had to pick and choose who I poured into versus,
for sure,
if they weren't pouring into me, like I just had to really pick and choose.
Yeah.
And not to say that like, and I think that's okay. I think some friendships stay. Like you and me, for an example, I know you're going to be my lifelong best friend. Of like, we pour into each other. We go to bat for each other when we're going through something. We pray for each other. I know that you are somebody I can call that is just would be there for me.
Yeah. But that relationship also took time. Like,
absolutely.
Right. Like, I mean, not to say like it didn't happen in like an instinct. Like that's what I mean by choosing it, is like you and I had to choose relationship with each other.
Yes.
And we've talked about that, like, because you've even said like with kids, like your time is limited. And so it's like the time that you do choose for people is so valuable.
Yeah.
That like it was something that I couldn't take for granted, because if I did, like we just wouldn't have the same relationship.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I have to value the time that I get with you. And it doesn't mean that like, I don't know. That's not to say that like I didn't value it, or like, oh, I had to value it. It's like I wanted to value that time. Yeah. But yeah, so I mean, I think it's just beautiful because God, like, I guess all that to say, like, God transformed my life in a million different ways. And actually, what's crazy is like within the first week or two, I think, of going back to church, I actually did meet my husband, but I didn't know it was my husband at the time. Yeah. And it took, like 6 months maybe, like from the time I met him to the time that we actually like got coffee, or like, you know.
That's so cute.
Yeah. So
I remember though, you were like, I'm gonna just kind of take a break from boys on our first coffee.
Oh yeah, the amount of times that I've said I'm gonna
4 months later, I'm like, girl, let's slow it down. And now you're married. So,
and honestly, grace of God, because we both were still battling a lot, like, you know. And I think, like, I'll just say, like, we weren't perfect when we stepped into a potential relationship, but we were honest. And I will say, like, I have never been more honest with a person about what I wanted, who I was, the things that I have done, the things that I've been through. Like, my husband knew everything about me that I knew about myself before we even like went on our second date. Like, it was crazy. Like, and I mean, I'm kind of exaggerating, like,
and I'm sure that was not easy to open those past wounds and be vulnerable and have to share that with somebody who potentially you're dating or whatever.
For sure.
So,
and honestly, because I knew my husband has been a believer his entire life, and he lived his life following Christ. Like, he didn't do a lot of things that I did or went through, and like a lot of the like quote unquote sins I committed, like he hadn't stepped into ever. And so it felt like a little bit like I was breaking his heart when I was like telling him these things that I had done, but it wasn't like he didn't like feel for me, or feel like, I guess I'll say this, he wasn't judging me, but he was also looking for his wife, and he had to discern whether my heart had changed, truly changed, or if the sin that I had committed was still present in my life currently. And I think, you know, he had to do a lot of conversation with the Lord to know where my heart was at. But he tells me that, like, you know, he talks about this a lot with his own testimony, that when he stepped into a relationship with me. His prayer changed from like, I want, you know, this, and this, and this, and this, and this in a woman, to I want a woman whose heart is for God, like all out for God. And that was like his only request. And I think when we stepped into that relationship, he says that that's what he found in me, that my heart was all out for Jesus. And that was it. That was enough for him. And
That's
now
amazing.
we're like 6 months married. And
yeah, you guys are a beautiful, beautiful couple.
thank you.
And I'm so glad I've gotten to witness just everything God's done
Yeah.
in the two of your lives. And I'm so excited to see what he continues to do.
Yeah. God has completely changed my life.
Oh, absolutely. I know. Such a powerful testimony from living in your sin,
Yeah.
dancing
Yeah.
in LA, pursuing things of this world,
Yeah.
and then pursuing Jesus.
Yeah.
He's just, I've personally watched the transformation he's done in your life.
Yeah.
And it is a true testimony to anyone who's watching. Like, I've seen the woman of God this girl is, and it's so beautiful. And I'm just so proud to call you my best friend. Like,
Thanks, girl.
it's just been it's so beautiful and so powerful how God can just change someone's heart. And it just took that little step of obedience of, for you walking into a church and sitting down and letting the Lord in just that little bit and giving him a chance. And
totally.
because think back, if you didn't, you hadn't had gone to that church, you know, who knows where you would have been. And so that's why it's important to invite people to church. And
for sure,
even if, you know, you think they're not going to come, like just planting the seeds and welcoming everybody, because we all fall short and nobody's perfect. And, no friendship is perfect and no relationship, but that's why we need Jesus. And
he is amazing. The perfect that like we can stand on and always rely on.
Yes.
No matter what.
Totally. I do want to talk about really quick what you're currently doing with your ministry, because Tia is still an amazing dance teacher at the same studio that you've been.
Yes. And kids can testify. I have changed.
Yes.
Like,
oh my gosh,
I think that they always like kind of talk about that. And like, I give God all the glory. Like he has changed, like I said, changed me in every aspect, but like, even as a coach, even as a teacher, like has completely changed
because
my life.
Your fruit, like when you are changed, the fruit flows from your life, and it just, you slowly want to live like Jesus. Like the more and more you are in a relationship. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
Let's talk about what you're doing, because I'm so excited for you with your ministry.
Yeah.
You've started.
Yeah.
Which you can go ahead and talk about that, which I'm so proud of you for even stepping into what you have for the past 2 years. 2 years.
Yeah. I think it's been like 2 years. Yeah. 2023.
2 years, I think. Because you were not doing it when. No, you weren't doing it because you kind of had this idea of it, but you stepping into this is just so beautiful. And I want you to talk about it, because it's so great what you're doing.
The Lord can redeem anything. So my relationship with dance was redeemed. And I saw a need, and the Lord had put it on my heart to essentially like fulfill that need. And it was a ministry for youth, like female dancers. Like not necessarily like specifically competitive dancers, but that is like who I work with, like at the dance studio. And when I was a kid, like, and I was baptized at 16, dance became my priority, and I didn't have anybody to like navigate me back to where my truth stands, which is in God. And so I had this heart for young girls who know Christ, but choose dance over him all the time. And so I just wanted to create a space essentially where they can go and use their gift to worship God, be in fellowship with other dancers, and still like follow the Lord. So my ministry is called For the Dancer. We're in like Snohomish area. We get together every other Saturday as much as we can. We like call our Bible study Sanctified. And the whole goal is that the dancers that I am discipling, like through God's word, look different than the world.
Yeah.
And you know, they choose it like all the time. I'm thoroughly impressed like with how much they dedicate their life to Christ. And even in the midst of like school and dance and their busy schedules, they still show up at like 9 a.m. on a Saturday morning to just choose Christ.
I love that so much.
It's the most beautiful thing. And it just started as a Bible study, like
Yeah.
summer Bible study, 8 weeks. I had bought a Devo and was like, hey guys, let's do this Devo together.
Yeah.
And they just showed up. Like there was like 15 of them, I think, the first year. And I was like, whoa, like that's crazy. And we're stepping in more into like worship dance now. So there'll actually be like worship dance sessions this summer. And
oh my gosh, that's so fun.
I'm just so excited to see like what the Lord's going to do and how he's going to grow it. And yeah, like I said, he can redeem anything, and he redeemed dance. He redeemed my purpose. Like I no longer dance for myself or for others, but I only dance for him. I only choreograph for him. I only teach for him. And I am not perfect,
Yeah.
but I'm sanctified.
Yeah.
And he's going to continue to sanctify me and change me and transform me and use the gifts that he has given me for his glory.
Totally.
So that's what we do at For the Dancer, is we
That's
give
so
God
good.
the glory for our gifts.
Go follow on Instagram For the Dancer.
Mm-hmm.
At For the Dancer, right?
At For the Dancer.
Yeah. That's amazing. You have such a beautiful testimony, and I'm so happy that we got to do this together.
Me
It's kind of silly because we never I feel like whenever we hang out, we do have deep conversations.
For sure.
We just never do it on a podcast. So it's just silly
We
that
also have like screaming kids.
oh, I know.
You know, and like cutting
Mom,
strawberries and like dino
I
Nikes.
know.
And so it's like,
which you have just been the way you've poured into me in my life and the season I'm in, just being in different seasons, even when you weren't married and
yeah.
when we were in different seasons, the way
Yeah.
Tia has poured into me, like I'll just give encouragement for if you have a friendship and you are in different seasons,
Yeah.
like recognize that and pour into the other person the way they need to be poured into. Because
Mm-hmm.
you really like showed me, you gave me a friendship that I had never had before, and like that my kids had never really had.
Yeah.
And you love my kids like they're your own. So it's just so
I
beautiful.
absolutely adore them.
Yeah, like it's so cute. They adore
love
you
them.
a little too much because I'm like, okay.
They're so funny.
No.
Yeah, I absolutely adore them. And yeah, like she was saying, like don't let different seasons discourage you.
Right. But you
from a
want to be with
friendship.
people who pour into you.
Yeah, I think that's the
And-
most important thing. And the whole like going to bat for each other. Like
Absolutely.
Sarah knows she can text me at any time or call me at any time and ask for prayer for anything, and I will pray. Like I will step
Yeah.
into prayer. And same thing for her. Like if I'm going through something, if my husband and I are going through something, like I can call Sarah and I will know she'll pray for me, and she'll
Yeah.
check in too. Like she'll ask like, how is this going?
And that's what you want, is people surrounding you and your family that are going to push you closer to God.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, that could be a whole other episode about
For
like just
sure.
community, because we're running out of time. But
I know.
that could be a whole other episode about.
I'm like, I feel like we hit so many other topics that maybe we didn't even plan on.
because this
but
could go on and on. But I'm
For
so
sure.
happy you got to share your testimony, because it is just so powerful, and I hope it encourages
yeah.
anyone who needs to hear it, because
yeah.
this girl has been transformed by Jesus, and it's so just being a witness and getting to continue to see what he does in your life is just so amazing.
Yeah.
So thank you for coming on here and just hanging out with me today and
Yeah.
talking,
Thanks
chatting,
for having me.
as besties.
I love it. Yeah.
So-
Like seriously, I think that God gives you a gift for a reason. All you have to do is figure out what that reason is and what his purpose is for it. Because truly I believe everybody has a gift.
Yeah.
And it's just navigating what he wants to do with it versus what we think is
Right. How can you
Right.
do it for his glory?
exactly.
Yeah. Which you have
Yeah.
totally done. And
Thanks.
he's redeemed so much. So
He really has.
Yeah.
Shout out to
that's
God.
so good. Yeah, this is so good.
Follow God.
At follow Jesus.
At follow Jesus.
Shut up. Oh man.
Ba-doom.
She's funny.
Really good at
Okay.
dad jokes.
Well, thank you everybody for listening. What'd you say?
I said I'm really good at dad jokes. You know?
Okay. Cut that part out. Just kidding. This is usually what we do, is we just laugh. So the fact that we actually got through,
What do you mean?
can we just say the fact that we got through this not laughing?
I know. I'm actually impressed.
I'm
Holy
like,
Spirit,
there's a
thank
couple
you.
times I had to just, well, this was a pretty
Hold it
serious
together.
one, but
That's fair.
This is great. I'm proud of us because
I am too. Should have seen us
We're
trying
kinda
to
funny
start
together.
this episode.
oh man. Okay. Well, everybody, I hope you have a great day, evening, morning, whenever you're listening to this. I hope this encourages you. Please like, subscribe, follow to At the Altar.
Yes.
And Tia, we can link her socials down below if you want to give her a follow. And For
absolutely.
the Dancer, her ministry, which is follow
That's a
along
big
with
one.
that because it's beautiful and you want to witness what God's doing in that and what he's going to do through you. And so everybody have a great day. We love you.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.